If you are questioning your sexuality, if you are struggling with figuring out what your sexuality is, this is that video. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you some questions. I'm gonna give you some examples that are gonna make you think, am I gay or am I straight? We don't know yet. That's what we're here to figure out, silly goose. So let's get into it. I can vividly remember the first time I looked up a am I gay quiz, and I filled out all the questions and I tried to fill them out with like really straight answers. I don't want you to do that. Be honest with yourself. You are only doing yourself a disservice. Let's get into the video. The first sign that you may be gay, bisexual, pansexual, you feel really passionate about LGBTQ issues. There are tons of straight as an arrow people who absolutely are the biggest activists for the LGBTQ community. However, I've noticed a lot of queer people who come out later in life when they were younger were just like fighting the good fight. Some of you are younger than me. You may not remember this, but there was a time where it was really just illegal everywhere to be in a gay marriage. Like, you could not get married if you were of the same sex. You could not do it. I remember the day I found out you could not legally marry someone of the same sex. I remember it like it was yesterday. We were watching something on the news. I know my mom told me gay marriage is illegal. And I remember literally being outraged. I don't think I realized it at the time, but that issue hit very close to home. That might be something to consider. If you are going really hard for our causes, you could be an ally. You also could literally be fighting for yourself and you're just not facing it. Another sign is you give disclaimers. Some of these disclaimers include, I'm not gay, but not into girls, but I would. Listen, guys, I know a lot of people tend to say stuff like this, but I remember before I came out, I said a lot of stuff like this. I'm not gay, no homo kind of vibes, but it's like, if you're straight, why do you feel the need to give a disclaimer every time you do something? What are you so afraid of? You're straight. I would look into that. If you're the one that's giving those disclaimers every time you want to do something affectionate towards the same sex, or every time you breathe, you're just like, I'm not gay though, you might be. Reconsider. Moving on. This is a big one. You do gay stuff. Gay stuff meaning you have sex with women and you're a woman. Gay stuff meaning you make out with women and you're a woman. I hear the excuse so often, I was just drunk. Feminine women in particular, I'm one of y'all, don't shoot the messenger. It's always y'all who get drunk then want to kiss your female friends. What if I told you that straight people don't kiss their female friends when they're drunk? Would you reconsider that? Now, don't get me wrong, there are definitely a group of women who like to make out with women in front of men just to impress them, just so they seem more interesting, whatever it is. But you gotta really think about it. If every time you get drunk you want to make out with a girl, I think the call is coming from inside the house. It's giving, it's no longer for male validation. It's giving you want to do it, and the only way you feel comfortable doing that is if it's in front of people or you're drunk, so that way you have an excuse. I'm not gay, I just like to make out with girls when I'm drunk. I can tell you something right now, my closest friends are straight women. Do you know how many times they've tried to make out with me when they're drunk? You know why that is? Because they're straight. Straight people do straight shit. They don't make out with the same sex. It is what it is. Now, there's a lot of nuances to this, obviously, but for the most part, anyone who's truly straight is not making out with the same sex every time they get drunk. So if you're doing that, that's pretty gay. Again, I'm not talking about doing it for male attention. I'm talking about you're alone in a room with your homegirl and you feel moved to kiss her. That's gay, mama. That's gay. If you have a friend, Sarah, and every time she has a little sip of wine, she wants to kiss you, she's probably fighting a real internal battle. You need to check on Sarah. She's gay. Moving on. This was one I feel like went under the radar for me for so long. I would get upset when a beautiful woman was dating a subpar man, or just really any man in general. Now, I'm bisexual, but I vividly remember there was one girl in particular that I thought was so pretty, and she would date a guy, and I literally would like hate on every single relationship she had. I don't know what it was, but I was just like not feeling it. It wasn't the fact that I didn't like who she was dating. It wasn't the fact that I didn't like her. It was the fact that I wished I was the boyfriend. And it took me a really long time to realize that. The way I differentiated this was, I've always been a confident girl. Even if the world didn't see it, my whole thing would be, why is everyone so stupid? It was never, oh, why don't I have this? It was, why don't you guys see what I have? I knew it wasn't coming from a place of insecurity. Every time I was like hating on like a pretty girl in like a relationship or something, it wasn't that she had a relationship and I didn't. It wasn't that I felt like she was prettier than me, because I don't think any woman's beauty takes away from my own. It was genuinely that I was mad I couldn't be in that man's shoes. I was mad that she wasn't dating me, and I didn't realize that. So if you can ever just think back to a time where you were really just hating on a beautiful girl, be honest with yourself. Nobody's gonna know. I keep it between me and you. Be honest with yourself. Think of the last time you were really just hating on a girl. Why were you doing that? Do you truly believe that she's better than you? Or are you angry that you can't be with her? Are you angry that she doesn't see you romantically? Think about it. Once you get that answer, this will help us get closer to it. So, are you really just a hater, or are you just really gay? This is obvious. Look at someone of the same sex and you get excited. Straight women do not get excited when they see women. My closest friends are straight women and can literally see clear as day differences between the way I view things, like my perspective versus theirs. None of my straight friends have ever told me they've looked at a woman and been excited. My straight friends do not go out to the bar and look for girls to make out with. My straight friends do not go to the bar and look for women to flirt with. Like, they're not looking the way I'm looking. It's very different. Picture the most beautiful girl. Picture what you think is the most beautiful woman walking down the street. Close your eyes. This is an activity. I want you to follow along. Close your eyes. Picture the perfect woman, whatever you think that is. It could be a celebrity. It could be someone you know in your day-to-day life. Is walking down the street, walking towards you. You guys are about to pass each other. She stops you and says, "You're so beautiful. Can I get your number?" What is your immediate reaction? Whatever you just felt, if your heart just dropped a little bit when I said that, you're gay. This video is here to call you out. So if you just felt some butterflies when I just said that and I gave you that example, it's leaning towards queer. Think about that. Now, if she comes up to you in that situation, ask for your number, and you're just like, "Well, thank you, but no, I'm good," then forget I said anything. But if you have no other variation of telling her just like that, you are gay. You probably like women, and that's okay. Another one is, if you get a lot of gay or queer references, that's probably an indicator that you're leaning towards our community. It's definitely giving rainbow flag, because I don't know if you realize that there are literally just things that straight people have never heard of. If I mention Bet and Tina to a straight person, they're gonna go, "Who are these women? Are they sisters? What do I need to know about them?" Now, if I mention Bet and Tina or just Bet Porter to a queer woman, if you understood who those people are just now that I just said, you're gay. You may be gay. Now, you may just love a good TV show, but why that TV show? For those of you who don't know who Bet and Tina are, those are two of the main characters of the only lesbian show, which is The L Word. The entire cast is queer. Let's say you know a lot of gay slang. If I say something like U-Haul, straight people hear, moving company. They hear, "All right, I'm about to move into a new apartment. That'll be great for me. I'm gonna get a U-Haul and drive it to that location like a normal person." Queer women hear U-Haul, moving in with a woman that you've met in like 2 weeks, falling in love. She made me interrupt. She wanted to be in the video. If you know a lot of gay artists, if I say an artist like King Princess or Janelle Monáe or Girl in Red for my younger subscribers out there, do you know who those people are? Do you listen to said people often? What about their music resonates for you? What is it? I mean, you might just love the way they like put their lyrics together. You might just love the melodies, the rhythm they use, cadence, everything. But you just might like all of their gay lyrics. The lyrics are gay. You are gay. And don't even get me started on like clothing. And I really do think clothing can play like a really big part in kind of like using your gaydar. And I don't even mean that in the stereotypical sense that people might think of. The way I'm sitting in front of this camera with white eyeliner under my eyes, these chains on, and this frilly little blouse, something about that just gives queer energy. It's almost inexplicable, and it's a muscle over time that you just grow. The longer you're out, the longer you're in the community, the more queer people you start to meet, the easier it'll become to differentiate when you're outside who in here is probably gay, who in here is probably on my team, and who is not. If you want to learn more about how your style can reflect your queer identity, click the next video. As always, I am so thankful for my community. Happy Pride Month. Bye.